There he is, Fight Night's Finest, controlling Manny Pacquiao. 287 wins, 77 losses, and 158 of those wins coming by way of knockout. His opponent, the Dark Knight, Roberto Duran, 369 wins with 79 losses, with 237 wins coming by way of knockout. It ought to be a great and interesting match as both men head to the center of the ring with the referee giving instructions. Both of them look ready, confident, and ready to pound each other. They touch gloves and head back to their respective corners.
You hear that opening bell. What's going on, boxing fans? Once again, it's your host, Fight Night's Finest, joined by his co-host, yours truly, Arachnid Soul. Head-to-head competition here. You see Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao, going toe-to-toe with Roberto Duran.
You see Manny Pacquiao in the white and gold trunks versus Roberto Duran in the black trunks. For those of you guys who don't know who both of these fighters are, lightweight king Roberto Duran, one of the greatest lightweights, possibly the greatest lightweight of all times, Mr. Hands of Stone, hits like a ton of bricks. And then you got Manny Pacquiao, one of today's most upcoming superstars and definitely a future Hall of Famer. He also has the ability to drop this man whenever he pleases with one lightning bolt of a punch. You see both of these fighters stepping into the center of the ring tonight. Roberto Duran with that 7-pound weight advantage, which is why you see Pacquiao on his back foot right now and trying to box, trying to pot shot as he tries to get away from the strength of Roberto Duran. What do you expect to see from both of these men tonight, Arachnid?
Well, I expect to see punches and bunches. These are two individuals who we know in the sport, as we see Pac-Man get rocked there a couple of seconds ago. Two individuals in this sport who have endless stamina. And down goes Pac-Man early in round number one. Pac-Man will be able to get up, I'm sure. Pac-Man having no problem answering the count. I did not expect Manny Pacquiao to get dropped that early in this encounter.
You know, when you got that brawling style of Pacquiao, sometimes you get caught slipping with a good shot. That was a clean power straight that came in and rocked Pacquiao. He tried to clinch, he tried to hold, he tried to do the right thing on defense, but he was just not able to withstand the power of Duran early on. You see Pacquiao using that jab in order to stay away from his opponent, not trying to trade with the hooks and uppercuts now. You see that stiff right jab, because Pacquiao is a southpaw fighter, that stiff right jab coming out in order to keep that distance to prevent another knockdown, and Manny Pacquiao is able to survive that encounter.
Pacquiao already cut under that left eye. We see the cornermen putting in work. Now what I noticed was that in the early goings of that match, it was Roberto Duran controlling the inside of the ring, pushing Pacquiao to an outside game. For some reason, towards the end of that round, we saw Duran back off. He taunted, he called Pacquiao in, and why would you switch up a winning strategy?
Well, sometimes you want your opponent to be defeated mentally. You want to break his confidence, and this is so key in online ranked matches. You see a lot of fighters tend to get complacent. They tend to get comfortable, and then once they're broken, once they know what they came to do will not work, they start to do things that they can't handle. There goes the counter, right uppercut from Roberto Duran. He's putting on that pressure now. He's got Pacquiao in the corner. Pacquiao holding on, surviving, showing some good defense, and comes back with a counter left hook.
We saw Pacquiao, like you said, get rocked. He put his helmet on. He was backed up in the corner. Not one of those punches able to pass the guard, and Manny Pacquiao back in this. When this round started, I would have told you that I thought Manny Pacquiao scouted his opponent in round number one and switched up his strategy and would be successful in this round. But what I'm seeing so far is, wait a minute, Roberto Duran now getting rocked in the corner. Punches and bunches. Down goes Duran. There's the receipt from Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
There goes that counter left hook with the counter straight. That's what we talked about earlier, that one lightning bolt of a punch from Pacquiao that can drop his opponent at any given time. So we see the difference. We see the strength from both of these men. Despite the 7-pound weight advantage, Pacquiao can hurt his man. He's able to catch his first knockdown of the fight, and both of these guys showing that they have the ability to drop one another. Arachnid, when you got two power punchers meeting up in the ring, What change will be necessary for either man to take advantage in the fight?
Well, when you have two power punchers in the ring, and you have two power punchers in the ring who have scouted one another, they both know the other man is a power puncher. Wait a minute, we actually saw Roberto Duran there go for a headbutt. But two power punchers will respect each other, and once again, Roberto Duran going for a headbutt. He's lucky he didn't get caught with that right uppercut, and a third time. I know you asked me a question, but I've got a question for you. What is the game plan of Roberto Duran when he's going for those repeated headbutts?
Well, you know, some guys, once they get hit with something strong, they need a quick break. They need the referee to step in. You're seeing right there from Duran the chance for the referee to step in and maybe give him a little time. Maybe he was still hurt. Maybe he was still feeling a bit wobbly on those legs. Maybe he still has spaghetti legs, which is why he was going on those headbutts, so the referee can call breaking the action. It's better to lose a point than to lose the entire round or lose the entire fight from a few more punches that will come in. Also, when a fighter's throwing his head like that, when he's leading off with his head, that puts the other fighter in danger of getting a cut. Manny Pacquiao already has a cut underneath that left eye as he gets clocked with another left hook from Roberto Duran. But he has a cut under that eye, and headbutts tend to cause cuts. Maybe Duran was looking to hit Pacquiao with yet another headbutt in order to cause a cut.
Well, I have to tell you, the very first round of this fight I gave to Roberto Duran. I was in the process of giving him the second round when Manny Pacquiao dropped his opponent. I believe that a headbutt above the eye sometimes opens up a gash and will cause a referee to actually end a fight. A gash beneath the eye, though, does not explain to me why this man has continued to go for the headbutts. He knows he has the ability to win rounds. He did it in the first round, like I said. What he needs to focus on is what brought him to the dance. The pressure we saw in the first round, dominating the inside of the ring, pushing Pac-Man to the outside, throwing the punches and bunches, and once he rocks, the man from the other side of the world then coming in with that combination and dropping him. That needs to be the focus, in my opinion, of one Roberto Duran.
Let's talk about the adjustment that Manny Pacquiao made. The fact that he started using that jab, he started using more jabs and straights, he started using the 1-2 combinations, he started stepping, he started landing some of those counter punches. We see him also landing some good shots downstairs to the body. I think the adjustment from Manny Pacquiao has made the fight completely different for Duran, where he can't pressure Manny Pacquiao with that same level of pressure. And plus the fact that he got hurt showed that he just can't walk in. He can't step into the kitchen and take the heat. So what does he start doing? He starts trying to use his boxing. He starts trying to use that footwork. He starts trying to change things up, because maybe, just maybe, Roberto Duran is respecting the power of Manny Pacquiao. That's my diagnosis, Arachnid. I'm thinking that maybe Duran feels he can outbox Pacquiao. Let's take a look at these scorecards here, though. Roberto Duran up 2-1. Both men have scored knockdowns, but nevertheless, Roberto Duran winning the third round on my scorecards. Manny Pacquiao just not able to land enough power shots, not able to deal with some of this pressure from Roberto Duran. We're seeing a lot of power straights. We're seeing a lot of counters from Roberto Duran in round number 3. Now, one discussion that we always have whenever we're doing these commentaries, Arachnid, is a guy's endurance, a guy's stamina, a guy's ability to be able to last the duration of a 12 to 10 round fight. The work rate of Duran is impressive. He's definitely the guy out there controlling the match with his work rate. How long do you think he's going to be able to keep this up for?
Well, you've got a couple of different strategies you bring to the table. Now, if you think you can drop a man and keep him down in round number 1, there's nothing wrong with throwing those combinations and going balls to the wall and burning through your stamina. But if it's going to be a long night, you want to be smart. Round number 1, a feeling out process. Possibly round number 2, another feeling out process, maybe into the end of that round. Starting to throw some combinations, starting to go a little bit deeper than just the 1s and 1-2s. But in a fight like this, where I believe this one will go the distance, you need to gauge your stamina. You need to plan. You need to come in well conditioned, and you need to stay well conditioned. The punches and bunches, the work rate, like you said, will only play out in the favor of Roberto Duran if he can drop Manny Pacquiao and drop him early. The work rate he's putting in will hurt him the longer this fight goes.
Yeah, you definitely seen that with many fighters gassing out. Take the recent fight between Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. Maidana applying a lot of pressure early. There comes the counter right uppercut from Roberto Duran. He's hurt Pacquiao. Pacquiao up against the ropes, but he is saved by the bell. It was the bell that saved Manny Pacquiao possibly from his second knockdown in the fight.
I see Screech standing over in the corner. I see Lisa standing over in the corner. It is the late 1980s, and you are right. It's Saturday morning, and that boy Pac-Man was just saved by the bell.
Let's go back to the reference earlier, though. We've seen this with Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana controlling the first 6 rounds of the fight. I had it up 4 rounds to 2 in favor of Marcos Maidana. But as the fight continued, as the match gone on, Marcos Maidana was not able to apply that same amount of pressure. He started to gas out. He started to go a little bit, and that's what you got to look at in this fight. It's very similar, the little nuances. Roberto Duran pretty much headhunting for the entire fight. He's not showing that body work that he did against Sugar Ray Leonard back in the first fight between the two. He's not showing that body work. He's pretty much headhunted ever since he's got that knockdown. He's forgotten about the body. But you got to look at the little nuances. What are you seeing from Pacquiao? Most of his combinations have some work that goes downstairs to the body. Pacquiao has not forgot his body work. And as the fight continues, you're seeing this work rate. We're not seeing the same snap in the punch from Roberto Duran, even though he started to throw a nice little body combination down there. Maybe in the corner, they told him he needs to start working the body. But we're not seeing the body work from Duran. As the body work from Pacquiao continues to pick up, you gotta wonder who's gonna be the better conditioned fighter, especially when you're getting a hit in the body. There was a beautiful 4-punch combination from Manny Pacquiao. And talk about the importance of body work for us, Arachnid.
Well, I have to tell you, we talked about stamina before. A lot of people don't understand the body work, not only in boxing, but also in MMA. A lot of the time in MMA, you'll see guys on the ground punching each other in the rib cage, and people ask the question, why is he hitting him in the rib cage? Why is he going after the obliques? The same thing in boxing. If you can't breathe, you can't throw punches. That's the game plan for Manny Pacquiao. I believe that eyeball is looking horrible. The cheek is swollen up. We saw more punches thrown, in my opinion, in that last round. The aggression was turned up. Let's see what they're going to do as we enter this round.
Look at the difference here from Roberto Duran. We're starting to see that stiff left jab come out more. Also, if you guys notice, when Pacquiao caught that knockdown in round number 2, he was in the southpaw stance. He's been fighting an orthodox stance ever since. You're seeing the difference from Pacquiao. We all know Fight Night's Finest is more of an orthodox fighter, even though he has the ability to fight in southpaw. So you see him go back to what it is that he's comfortable with. As for Duran, you're seeing him boxing a lot more on that back foot. You see him not really throwing as many hooks and uppercuts, and that stiff left jab has definitely done him a lot of justice so far in this round. We're seeing Manny Pacquiao get out-jabbed. We're seeing him being outmaneuvered, outworked with that jab. And it's got to bring a question to you. We haven't seen this from Duran. Is this the possible adjustment he feels he needs to make in order to take the round? Or is this an adjustment he's making because he's trying to recover? He's trying to regain some of that endurance, some of that stamina that we talked about earlier.
Well, I think it's a little bit of A and B. I believe when he took that break, the cornermen told him, listen, you're winning this fight. It might go the distance, however, you need to slow down. And in this round, we're not seeing the same Roberto Duran. You're seeing him keep those gloves up. He's trying to get Manny Pacquiao to throw and miss punches. Roberto Duran with a stick and move strategy now, trying to conserve some of that stamina, and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is playing into it, but at the same time, Pac-Man is connecting with blows occasionally.
Yeah, we're seeing Pacquiao definitely pick up his combinations here. We're definitely seeing him headhunting a little bit more in this round. And the thing about the scorecards is that you can still the fight with some effective punches. I think that's exactly what Pacquiao's looking for here, as he's looking to steal the round by landing the harder shots, landing the more effective shots with those hooks, with those uppercuts, with that straight left hand. We're seeing Pacquiao trying to possibly steal these rounds. He definitely looks like he's the better conditioned fighter at this moment. We enter into the next round here. Let's see if this will be the same strategy from Duran. Was that a recovery round, or will he go back to using the hooks and the uppercuts in the pressure game?
Well, I actually believe that while that was a recovery round, I think that Pacquiao took that round. I think Roberto Duran thinks he can use that same strategy, make a couple of adjustments, and be able to win the rest of the rounds. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. It was in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Grand Gardens Arena. We saw Manny Pacquiao take on Timothy Bradley. That fight went the distance, and at the end of that fight, Manny Pacquiao still looked fresh, still looked like he had so much left in the tank. He probably ran laps around the Las Vegas Strip. Manny Pacquiao will not gas out. It's going to come down tonight to who's the better boxer. It's also going to come down to how much does Roberto Duran have left in the tank.
Yeah, look at him now, man. You definitely see that work rate fall off quite a bit. You're seeing not the same amount of punches, and he's getting frustrated with the fact that Pacquiao won't go balls to the wall, as you stated earlier, and try to pressure him against those ropes. Maybe get him in the corners and try to throw those hooks downstairs to the body, or maybe throw the left uppercut, right hook combination. We're not seeing that from Duran. We're seeing a lot of side step uppercuts. We're seeing that stiff left jab coming out, but for the most part, he's also taking quite a bit of damage. We're also seeing a Duran that maybe he's lost his luster. Maybe he's lost his confidence ever since Pacquiao kind of started getting back in this fight.
You know, I have to tell you, having your back against the ropes is never a surefire sign that you are losing a fight. And while we see Manny Pacquiao now dominating from the inside, I would say Roberto Duran is doing a damn nice job of keeping his shoulders off those ropes.
Yeah, he's showing some nice footwork. He went back to the headbutt also that you talked about. Maybe it's not even a headbutt that we talked about trying to get a cut. Maybe he's just trying to either throw Pacquiao off his game and scare him from coming on the inside, or maybe, just maybe, it's the fact that he wants to get out of this fight. We're seeing Duran being outmaneuvered, outworked now, and it's come to the fact where Pacquiao has grasped those last 3 rounds. I have Manny Pacquiao up on my scorecards 4-3. How are you scoring it, Arachnid?
I'm scoring it the same way you're scoring it, 4-3. I have to say, I wonder if in the past this strategy has been successful for Roberto Duran. I wonder if in the past he's been in the ring with a lot of competitors who couldn't go the distance, who maybe only lasted 2 or 3 rounds. Because if that is the case, Roberto Duran came in tonight with a strategy he's been successful with. If this fight only went 3 rounds, Roberto Duran would have his hand raised already by the referee. Unfortunately, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, the brilliant ring general, able to switch up his strategy, able to come back. You see the conditioning, you see the footwork. Wait a minute.
That's it. The corner throws in the towel. The Dark Knight one leaves the match. He was frustrated. He was outboxed. He was outmaneuvered. And the combinations and the work rate from Pacquiao continued throughout the night. The Dark Knight gets frustrated. The corner's seen enough, and he quits just like he did in the Sugar Ray Leonard 2 fight. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining us here tonight on my channel, youtube.com/FightNightsFinest. For my co-host, Arachnid Soul, youtube.com/Arachnid Soul. Subscribe today if you haven't. If you enjoyed and like what you see, please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. It's been your boy, Fight Night's Finest, the Sophie commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.